Good afternoon, welcome to the video. I'm Chris and you're at Speed Spectre 1030. In today's video we're going to be working on the Rat Rod go-kart. So today I'm planning on getting the engine actually mounted into the go-kart so that way it's all lined up. We can put the chain on it and actually I got it pretty close right now. No, it's a bit off right now. Well anyways, we're going to get this mounted up. Then we're going to go ahead and probably figure out the seating. After the seating's figured out, we're going to get the steering figured out. That'll probably come in a later video, but for this video, let's get the engine on, and maybe even the chain on. I gotta tell you guys, this thing is finally... I gotta tell you, this thing's got a little bit of flex in the whole frame thing here, so I mean, I'm not sure how it's gonna handle. Typical. So that's why that needs to be mounted. The engine just keeps falling over. We got to get that mounted. So we're probably going to use just regular angle iron. Build a little. They sell kits for it, but we're going to make our own out of angle iron. Get that mocked up. I was kind of trying to figure out the best way to do it. I've had people saying to put it right here, which I don't know. I don't really like the idea of having it sitting on top, right there on top of the axle. It just looks like it would be sitting up really high and kind of ruin the look. I really like the idea of it being right where it's at. Maybe not in that angle, but right here. So pretty close to this, and the only problem I have with that is when you do that, the gas tank is going to be where I really want the seat. So I'm probably going to unbolt the gas tank, put it up in a different area. Maybe I'll make like a cover for the engine right here. Then that way, when the tank is off, it can sit on the cover. You can lift it up, or actually you could tilt the seat forward, turn the gas on and off. And then also you can lift up a flap here and pull start it. As long as it gets enough airflow for this engine to run cool, I'll be happy with it. So let's go ahead and get the engine mounted and mocked up right now. Out of here. Oh, she's heavy. Okay. Now, I actually have an abundance of angle iron here. These are for bed frames. This is actually one of the best things you could find for dirt cheap if you're trying to build like a go-kart or some kind of project. Bed frame angle iron. There is some that is kind of flimsy, but I got nothing but good solid angle iron here. I'll probably actually use these because I already have, well, it might not be enough. That'd be nice to use those. So we're going to cut those in probably 4 or 5 pieces, make a box, set the box on that, line it up, and then hopefully we'll be able to just weld it in and get it squared up enough for the chain, which I have no idea where I put that darn chain. It's gone now. So hopefully we can figure it all out. Measurement here. Looks like 9 inches, so we'll go 10. Let's do 10 inches. As far as width, this is kind of where the one that matters. 4 and a quarter. 4 and a quarter. Alright, whenever you're doing something like this, make sure you have your safety glasses on. Alright, so we got the other pieces welded up. They're perfect. I think they'll work just fine. So this is what I'm kind of thinking. We're going to have it where we'll be welding it just like this, which will allow us to weld the 4-inch pieces to a cross member and to the cross member. And when it's like this, we'll be able to actually access the bolts to tighten up the engine. And we're going to be welding it, of course, with the $100 Harbor Freight welder. And that's pretty much it. If you guys haven't seen the video on this welder, go ahead and check it out. It's where I work on the Expedition. It's kind of like a little review. It worked perfect. So right now we're just going to get this welded up. I was going to use the torch to torch this out right here, but I decided not to because I figured not everybody has a torch. I'm sure people can buy a grinder and they can go ahead and use a grinder. So let's go ahead and get started on welding this up. It's not a fast thing. Alright. Get it as close to square as we can. We're going to throw a tackle on it. Wear gloves doing this. Don't do it like me. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Alright, I just finished welding up the angle iron. Now I will say I'm no professional welder, but I did figure out how to make it weld my last weld technically. So here it is. It's still smoking. I was actually shocked about how horrible it was welding. I mean, that's a little bit better than what I was doing. So I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I finally, is this thing really hot? Oh yeah, she's cooking. So I finally figured out that if I took my time and I decided to put the weld really close to it, it actually did not half bad. So you got to keep that gun really close to it, and I had to turn the wire speed down just a little bit, and it actually did that one weld right there that's actually doing really good. I think even with the really bad ones, it'll still hold up fine for what we're doing. If it doesn't, we'll have to fix it then. But I think it's fine for now. Let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to drill these holes, and then we'll actually get it grinded out so we can put the engine on it, and then put the engine on the frame, and then if the frame works out, we'll be able to line it up and then weld it solid to here, and then put a cross member right here to here and finish welding it up, and then put the chain on. Alright, after a bunch of grinding and drilling, which you can kind of see that I did it, I got it mounted on its, well, frame pretty much. I don't know what these are actually called, but I got it all mounted on here solid. It doesn't want to move really. So we're going to go ahead and mount this piece against the one cross member, and we're adding a cross member right now that we got cut. We just need to get it welded in, and then we'll see how it fits. Oh, stepped on my extension cord. That hurts. Can we grind? We should grind the frame there. I guess it actually is pretty ground now. So we go. Dang, this is gonna be a trip to get it in here flush. Give you this, which probably will work. It's just this thing's gonna be at a weird angle. Do we make it where the engine's at an angle? I think they've got to be flat. Who knows? Just weld it and see what it does. I like the idea. Measure. So if we do this, ooh, that puts us off way too much. This needs to go way more out there, actually. 10 1/4 puts you right there. Just double check that. So if I do that, it's going to be way angled. So this will actually have to drop down with some pieces. Ooh, you know what'd look cool? Rebar. Actually, that's a good idea. Alright guys, so actually with measuring, you can kind of see how this is going to be a lot higher than that cross member, which will put the engine in a bit of an angle, which I actually don't have a problem with it. The only thing I don't like is it is in an angle, because I'm not sure if that's going to cause an issue. So, wow, this is going to be finished welding. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower these down about like that. Also, that'll allow me to make it flat instead of in an angle like that. So when we use, what are we going to use? I actually think what would look kind of ghetto, which is perfect for this thing, is some rebar coming down right here holding it, and then we'll also put some on the other side as well. But right now let's just get some rebar cut, probably some, I don't know, 3-inch pieces, just to get this thing knocked down about 1 inch, which will be pretty level then. I'll be okay with a little angle, but that would be like a 3-inch angle. So let's get this thing lowered down just a little bit. Alright, we got the cross member on, welded up. I used rebar, which is so ghetto, but it looks funny as hell. I got it gusseted, it's triangular, it's perfect. Should put a few more welds on it, but even with all of that, it holds me up. Alright, now that we got the chain on, this is a thick chain. I keep forgetting how thick these are compared to other chains. It's actually really, I think it's good to go. I would run it like that just fine. There's a lot of play in these chains just for that reason. If you're off just a tiny bit. And of course, I run out of wire when I'm not 100% done welding. But we got some welds underneath it right here. But I ran out of wire, so that's one thing. If you're buying one of those, make sure you buy some more wire. It's been about 2 months since I actually started working on this, since the beginning of this video, because I ran out of welding wire, which we've just recently picked some up. So we're actually going to get started on probably finishing welding up the engine, and getting the steering figured out. I found my trusty wrench. It looks like it's in really good shape. Might put a little WD-40 on that, fix it right up. Okay, so I didn't know exactly what size wire I had, but I figured since it's the cheapest welder, it's probably the smallest wire they had at the store. And funny thing is, the smallest wire was the most expensive. Well, they're starting to move, so they're not like solid stuck, but we're gonna spray a little this WD-40 on it. Oh, it's all flaking off the rust. And I bet you a little bit of this in there. Ooh, I can see right down in there. Cool. That'll, there we go. That'll, uh-oh. Yeah. That's the one thing I never liked about these is the amount of waste that goes into them. So, bats are flying around. Y'all see that? Oh wait, it's a moth. Not joking. Yeah, I thought it was a baby bat. It's a freaking moth. Or is it a bat? No telling. It's got to be a moth to go after the. It's a big ass moth. Anyways, you're being chased off now from the bat moth and getting the 900-foot extension cord. We can get started on that. I also saw a pack of wild skunks. That's right. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. See that? Boom. Alright, so I bought these 2 U-bolts, which are way too big for this, but that's perfectly fine. Oh, I got another good old wrench. We should actually spray this with some WD-40 right now. Ugh. Man, that one is, oof, that one is really stuck. So, do it with a lot of danger. Leave a lot of explosives, you know, oils, so that when this explodes, it throws hot, flaming oil at you. Oh, transmission fluid, that does burn really good. You gotta have all the priorities. So, 10.5, this should be exactly the same based on the file measurement. This is really hot. Alright guys, let's face it, I'm no engineer here, but I think I've got it figured out. Hot. Alright guys, I think I figured out what's going on with the welder. I had the wire speed still turned up from that. I got this one kind of mounted, I got to straighten it out a little bit, but I was a little freaked out when I found there's a dead lizard that's just been under there for who knows how long, and there's a little baby tarantula right here. I've never seen one this small. He's a little guy. Let's get on the move for you. Get moving. Ooh, they're quick when they're little. Yeah. Alright guys, let me just start out with not my best work. First of all, this keeps catching on fire. The ground is not ideal, and I didn't clean enough material, so that didn't work out too well, but I got them pretty much even. They are solid. They're not seem like they're moving anywhere right now, and yeah, I would say we got the good old booger welds on it. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. You know what'll actually fix that up? I have the secret recipe right here. What you want to do is when it's good and hot, spray it on there. Bam. Dries it instantly and it looks way better. Alright guys, now after fighting with drill bits and using the WD-40 and all that, I found it just best to give up on all that and grab the best drill I had, the gas drill, and that ended up drilling these perfectly. Oh, actually that's pretty good. Around, oh god. Perfectly rat rod looking holes that I can improve on one day. There's been a little bit of a fire here, it looks like. Pay no attention to that. Can you envision it? This is not the seating, this is stuff from the boat. But now I could sit in it. And it's gonna be leg in here. It's just like a rat rod, any other rat rod out there. It's actually really comfortable, I'm not gonna lie. But there we go, now I'm comfortable. Now this is tight. these two, I think, a little bit different. That was solid. You know what? That was good. After another 35 minutes went to waste looking for the other U-bolt. I did find it. It took forever, but I found it. It was not where I thought I left it, but I did find it. Now this is probably a horrible camera angle because you're pointing up into the light. Now you can see what I'm talking about. You tighten this up. It's all crooked to hell. But that's fine. All it is it's supposed to just tighten this up so we can have this facing the right way, hold it all together, and then we have a steering system. Oh. It's the next day, or night, I should say. I've gotten a lot done so far. I have completely chopped this up. I got to do a few finishing welds on that. I got the rack and pinion mount. I got the, I don't even know what those are called, all hooked up. So now we got steering. And it doesn't turn incredibly sharp like I thought it would, but it turns sharp enough, I think, for what it is. I don't imagine this thing's going to be all that fast because, I mean, let's face it, this thing probably weighs over 400 pounds now. I got the seat kind of figured out, sort of, maybe. Good on the hinge system, that way I can just flip it forward and I'll be able to turn the fuel on and off because it's going to be up here on a bed. That'll get mounted a little bit better later on. And I cut out this part of the top of the body and I actually ended up bending it on the vise to make this perfect. Kind of like a windshield look to it. I don't know, I think it gives it a little bit more character as far as just being flat. And also I think I'm going to put the steering wheel through that in the long run. So, it'll be something about like that. And if you look, it has a nice look to it. Alright, status report. So far, I have done absolutely nothing since I last updated you guys. Okay, just joking. So far, I have actually found a pipe that fits the steering shaft. Well, steering part of the steering shaft. The pipe slides nice and tight over this, so this is going to be kind of what holds it together. Now, if you can't find a pipe that's kind of strong enough and thick enough, what you're going to want to do is take the pipe, cut it, and then just booger weld it all back together to make it a nice tight fit. What we're going to do is, you can see there's a hole right in the center. We're going to cut that out, slide this in there. It's going to also go in that end. Weld it all in there solid, slide the steering wheel through it, and then extend the column or shaft to the rack and pinion. Then we'll have the steering system mounted up. So now, you're always going to want to keep checking and seeing, like, okay, you know, yeah, I got to keep going all the way around. And you're going to keep going through it until we get it all cut out of there. After spending about 35.75 minutes looking for this piece of frickin' rebar, we can now finally show you we do in fact have the steering wheel in its, I guess this would be considered like a column. And yeah, I welded it in pretty good, I would say. It's solid, it ain't going anywhere. So yeah, this one day I'll either get patched in with a piece of metal, either going down like that, making it like a dash pad or something, or we'll just fill this all in one day with metal just to hide that. And I am welding with my eyes closed, so don't worry, I'm not like burning my eyelids out. I'm too lazy to go get the helmet. Okay, undo that. Make sure our ground is decent. If you want, you can put it right on a weld, that'll help. And we'll throw a few more welds on it. Boom! Look at that engineering marvel. We've got booger welds, we've got rebar, we've got just about all the grossness you can put in a steering system. I added that brake. Oh, falling in. Oh, boy, friend. Oh, that cramp. Ow. Oh, this feels like a rat rod. Oh. Alright, guys. I could so see drying doing this now. This is so good. Are you going to bump your hand on this? No, I'll dull this up because this is dangerously sharp and just was cut out. Just rip on this thing and get like up to 3.8 735 miles per hour. I just rip this thing. Alright, half hour later, which took twice as long as I thought it would. I actually have the chain cut. Alright, so you can see you cut the chain, you slide this little adapter, whatever this is, a key, you put this plate on, and this is where I am going to need help, because I've never done this before, I've never seen it done, but I've heard that this has to go a certain direction. I want to go this way, so the back of it is going, well, the round part is going towards the direction. Now, the thing is about that theory, I've heard that, is if that's true, then why, if you have reverse, that makes no sense. The only thing I could think is maybe they mean don't put it towards that piece because it could hit it and pop off, keep it towards the outside. I don't know. So yeah, now you just gotta slap that in there, which that'll take me about another half hour to do. But if I did this wrong, please comment below, and I read every comment. So remember, the rounded part is going towards the engine, towards the front, so it's gonna be, I'm not gonna have reverse right away. I mean, I'm going to tighten the chain, of course, but it's going that direction. It's going counterclockwise. The open end, where it slides against it, is going the opposite, clockwise, okay? If that's backwards, let me know, because I have no idea. Alright guys, so that's about all the time I have for this video. I'm sure it's a pretty long one, so if you have stuck around for the whole video, thank you for sticking around. We got the chain on it, the steering system figured out. Ooh, what else have we done? We got the seat on it. We've got a bunch of stuff buttoned up and welded. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.